Hello, welcome to another episode of the Crefts Couch Pod. I got a lot of random feedback. Oh, Bucky's coming to join me. Okay. I got a lot of random feedback about the car episode, ironically enough. And funny because I've been going through this process of seeking to create what lights me up, not necessarily what I should do. And there are just, the lessons continue. So because you all were so juiced about the car episode, and if you haven't heard about it, it's 2 episodes back, go listen to that first and then come back to this one because I want to do a continuation because the car has just been such a facilitation on my current journey. So picking up where I left off, I actually had that fabulous luxury AF loaner for, I think it was 16 days. So I really had the opportunity to really embody that energy. It was so different. I couldn't believe how different I felt at a vibrational level driving that versus my current car. And so that really was something because I had a real-time example to try it on for size, right? Practice the vibration. This is the whole point of creating our reality, actualizing things into existence is by being it first. Like it's just no big deal. This is who you are. So 16 days. So this is a fair amount of time. My mother-in-law came into town, and so we got to drive her around in the fancy car, right? We still had it for that. Basically, it was just, taking a while for them to get the parts that my Mini required. And I just kept asking, well, I wonder, how long I can have this for, how fun can I have with it, how much fun can I have with it, those types of things. But now I'm starting to get real freaking clear. I told you before how I was not even paying attention to how much I was contracting myself and limiting my ass based on some really sneaky limiting beliefs, like sneaky unconscious thoughts. And now that I was really freaking clear that I'm really desiring this like taupey, chalk colored 2-door sporty car, like that's literally all I can think about. I started to become a little obsessed because if you know me, you know I am kind of like an all-in type of person. So as I'm going through the experience of driving this car, it's pretty long, it's pretty large, it's great to drive people around in, but I got very clear that this is not what I desired. And so I just stayed in the energy of, okay, well, universe, what would it take? I like this, I like that, this is not for me, kind of just putting in my order, so to speak. So I was really seeking to stay in the expansion of it. And this is the I want to say like challenging piece is continuing to hold the vibe when you have no evidence. So cut to finally, it comes up, I think like a Tuesday or something. They give me a call. Hey, your car's ready. When can you come pick it up? And I'm like, oh, little dagger to the heart. Okay, I can do this. I'm like talking myself through it. My husband's like, oh, I'd be sad. And I was like, no, I'm going to hold the vibe. I got the vibe. And I get there and they turn in the car and they have like great customer service at this location. Walk inside. And I'm like, okay, I got this. I could already feel myself going into this, wanting to well up, get tearful, like, no, I can't give this up. How am I going to create the other thing? And just going into all of that trauma and drama with myself. So I seek to stay very mindful in the moment, like very in the process of like, yep, here's my, $2,500 payment for my Mini, and just be in, this is going to create greater. Everything I spend comes back to me multiple fold, right? Really stay in that level of abundance rather than going into all this contraction like, oh my God, this is not even a car I want, and now I'm spending money on it, blah, 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 blah. Not that, right? Because it's like, we have to be in this place of allowance for right where we're at in order to move forward, right? Because if we go into all this resistance, reaction to our current reality, then that's not creating the vibration of the new reality you're desiring to create, right? But we're human and these things come up, right? And the emotions are coming up and you don't seek to make yourself wrong about it. I was just observing it and seeking to be just really comforting with myself. It's okay. It's okay. This will come to be. What would it take, right? Just kind of really gentle and general with myself. So pay for my car. I get in my car. Wow, does it feel different? It feels like I didn't even know it anymore. You know how you really just know your car? Like you know immediately when something's wrong, like a little sound is just kind of off, or especially when you've had a car. I've had this car for 10 years, right? And it has a lot of miles on it, so I'm very familiar with it. And it was so odd because all of a sudden I realized, wow, this is just not my car anymore. Something clicked. Before it was always like, I loved this car. I adored it. It was unique. It was different. I've always loved Mini Coopers. It was like a specific one that they don't make anymore. And I just could tell it's like we've run our course. Our relationship has run our course. So I get in the car. I start driving home. And I got to do some freeway driving. And I was like, oh my gosh, this really does feel like a little go-kart. It feels a little rickety, like it just felt, and it was fine, right? They had fixed it all up. It's like as good as it could be at its age. And yet just I was perceiving so many energetic shifts and differences that I couldn't even believe I didn't notice before, right? Because I was just in such a different vibration. So at first, some tears were like streaming down my face. Oh my God, like I'm in this old car, whatever we go into with all of that. And just seeking to just be at some ease with it. What would it take? It's okay. I wonder what else is possible. I wonder what the universe is cooking up. So I was like real uncomfortable on the drive home. Okay, I'm just going to take a step back from this whole car manifestation gig. I'm just going to take a break. So I'm pausing and I am still very much of, okay, what else could I choose? So the next couple days, I just start to try to get back into my vibe of really hardcore. When I'm driving it, I'm imagining myself in the Porsche. Like I just be it, it's just happening, right? I'm just kind of imagining, right? Our greatest gift is our imagination and visualization to create our reality. And so I'm driving it like this, and I get up after about a week, it starts to normalize. Like I start to normalize back into a vibration of the car. Like it feels familiar again. I'm like, okay, yes, I know this. But I could tell I was going into some resistance. Like, I don't want this to feel normal. And then, you know what I mean? Despite me knowing that I have to be in allowance right where I'm at, right? So I'm sharing this because even though I know this stuff, I teach this stuff, I still, especially when I've made something a big stakes in my mind, which really that's not helpful either, right? When I'm challenging myself outside a comfort zone to manifest something significant, that even making it all like large like that makes it harder to attain, right? And I'm aware of all this, but we unconsciously do some of this stuff with whatever our beliefs are. And this is why reprogramming regularly is so important. So I'm headed down to Dallas to get my bars run. And if you're not familiar, Access Bars, it's like this amazing energetic work that I love. So go check it out on accessconsciousness.com if it pings you. But I'm going to get my bars run, and I'm talking to the practitioner. And she tells me a wonderful idea that I implemented with the car. Basically, what I did was talk to my car. Talk to my current Mini, because it has consciousness. It has some sort of awareness that I can work with. It's an entity, ultimately. And I ping the car and communicate like a good friend. Hey, you know what, Minnie? I have adored you. I am so sorry that I have kind of emotionally cheated on you, that I have left you before our time was really up and wrapped up. And I get that we are no longer the compatible fit, right? I am no longer your owner. I am no longer the number one person for you. There's someone else out there, right? Because I felt the difference, like it has shifted. And I'm saying this inside the car, to the car. So kind of like acknowledging where I'm at, acknowledging gratitude for the 10 amazing years that the car has given me, the driving from Colorado to Chicago to Texas to Austin to everywhere, right? And just acknowledging that and kind of just dwelling in that gratitude. So I speak about that, and then I go into, all right, car, this is the deal. It's time for us to move on from each other, for you to find a new owner, and for me to get into my next car, right? We're just no longer compatible. And I need your help. I need you to stay in good working condition, right? Until we're ready to part. And I need you to pull in the cash, the circumstances, the ease, the energy, the people that could contribute to making this transition with total ease, right? So I'm putting the intention out there that basically help me, car, help me, assist me, and I'm going to pull this energy too, right? But I don't have to do it alone. I can ask things to help you with this thing. So I know this sounds crazy. And what if you were willing to try it? So asking the car, okay, what would it take to bring in this new owner? We're going to find a new owner for you that's going to be so excited to have you. And let me know when it's time, right? So I'm really making all these requests, very clear asks of the car and of the universe. Show me when it's time. What would it take to pull in all the circumstances to make it total ease and stay in good working condition until we're there? And then we let go. And that's where I'm at now, which is the pause, the breath of just remaining in allowance of right where we're at. Me dropping the timeline and the need for it to happen tomorrow. Because energetically, it's done. It's happened. I felt it. I see it. It's happening. Right? When is it happening? I couldn't tell you at this point, right? You don't know when, you don't know how, right? So we really do need to drop those things when we're seeking to actualize our reality. So it's definitely been a process. Once I had the conversation, I'm just with the car, I'm feeling back more in flow with it. We're feeling good. And this is generally when people, again, go into this like resistance. I don't want to feel good in this because this is not what I want. I mean, think about it if it's a job this is paying me. If it's a job you have that you really don't want and you're resisting it hardcore, it's going to slow down the next step, right? So it's really looking at what would it take to have total ease and allowance and joy in this period. Because the thing is, you are always going to desire more, right? It's like, I'll be driving the Porsche, I'll be feeling good, and I'll be like, oh, you know what else I need? I need X, I need Y, I want this fabulous purse, I want a pool, right? All the things. And so that's okay, right? But it's like, if we're always seeking, oh, the next thing will make me happy, the next thing will make me happy, then we actually never feel happy. Because all the things that you have right now, you desired many years ago, right? I've desired to not have to work a 9 to 5. I've desired to have this really flexible schedule where I can go to Pilates in the morning and then acupuncture and just enjoy my day, right? Nice spacious days. I desired to live in a beautiful home, all these things. And if we're not in the gratitude, the peace, the ease, it slows everything down. Because here's the thing. Everything that you are desiring, that is that kind of next level abundance, when you think of an abundant person, they are relaxed. People that have a lot of money are like the vibration of money, not everybody, because people do weird stuff with money, but like the vibration of money is relaxation. Relaxation, ease, peace, right? If you imagined that you had 5 times the amount of money you have in your bank account right now, do you just notice that immediate sense of relief? Okay, I feel so much better. I can pay this thing off and this is good to go. And now I have more money, just to have. And that makes me feel abundant. And what else could I choose? And what else do I want to treat myself to? Yada, yada, yada. All those things, right? And so it's like we have to be that now. But if we're in scarcity of this is not enough, then what makes you think the next thing will be enough, right? And this has been a huge lesson that I am continuing to learn to cultivate, right? Where cultivating the feeling right now, regardless of the reality, is what creates the new reality. But you can't do it in service of wanting to create the new reality. You have to do it just because it feels good. I mean, for what other purpose do you want the thing? It's like, for what purpose do I want the Porsche? I think, kind of like driving the loaner, I was like, wow, I just felt I was going to say relaxed, but I also felt like nervous and I want to ding it, because it was so big and not mine. But relaxed in the sense of like, ooh, I feel luxurious and I feel abundant and confident and just things that it's the feeling, right? I was desiring. And besides the fact that just luxury, nice items have a different vibration, they just do. So when you can come at it from that place of being non-judgmental with yourself, right? Because it's like I was going through the feelings and I was doing the icky, like feeling not great about the situation and recognizing, okay, that's not going to move it along, right? And what would it take to just relax into this? So I've continued to move forward with just like pinging other things. So I was talking to my brother about the Porsche escapades, and he was like, oh, hey, like, don't forget to ping so-and-so, someone that's worked there for 20 years that we've known for a long time. I was like, oh, I didn't think we had a connection there. Like, how does it get better than that? Well, okay, let me just get some more information. So I emailed them just to get a sense of just kind of where things are at. And it's like, oh, well, it takes 6 to 8 months for the new Caymans and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and if you heard my house story, I was like, well, what else is possible? What would it take for it to be much faster? Not in the space that it has to be, but in the sense of, okay, I'm aware and acknowledge that the general consensus public is 6 to 8 months. Well, I do not concede. That is not my reality, right? Because if I do not buy into it to be real and true, then I have other possibilities that could come to me. I have no idea, right? Will it be 6 to 8 months? Will it be 2 years? Will it be next month? Who knows, right? But the whole idea is, okay, that's cool. It's just interesting. It's just interesting. Universe, what else is possible? What would it take for this to happen as soon as possible? What would it take for me to enjoy these, like the retirement age of my mini? What would it take for me to have so much fun dreaming this up that when I get in it, it feels so good? What would it take to have those feelings now? What would it take to be it now, right? A lot of rampaging with general questions to get me in a state that matches it. So we will see. I will be so curious to provide you with more updates as we move along. If you enjoyed this episode, you'd probably love the house episode too, because I talked a lot about how we were able to purchase a house at the height of the craze this last summer, where everything was going over ask and it was, massive wait times, like just lots of declines and offers. And we were able to get our house under ask and basically within a week of seeing houses that we were able to start the closing process. So I'm telling you, anything is possible, but only if you allow it to be so for you. So until next time.